how a single mom making it in this economy. This is coming from someone who lived through the last recession as a single mom and actually thrived. As someone who has been down to $5 in my bank account, no exaggeration, with 2 kids, no job, a mortgage, and no help, I can give you some practical advice on how to make it as a single mom in an economy like this. I'm one of the people my friends come to when they need a resource, because not only have I been through some things, but I also actually just enjoy learning and researching in my free time constantly. I will literally research things for hours just to learn about them, and in doing things like that, I've become extremely knowledgeable about a lot of things over the years. I've also become extremely resourceful to those around me, and today I want to share some of that with you. So if you're down for that, then keep on watching. Hey y'all, hey, it's khameleonkay, and on this channel I help single moms level up, buzz up in every sense of the word, in all categories of life. So if that sounds like your kind of vibe, don't forget to subscribe, and welcome to the fam, chameleon. I'm going to start with the category of housing. So this is like if you're facing eviction, or if you are struggling with keeping up with your mortgage or things like that. Some of the things I'm going to share is going to come from the fact that I am personally in real estate, and other things are going to just come from life lessons or things that I've helped other people do, or things that I've researched for other people, whatever. So I'm going to start with if you own a house, okay? Now, let's say you're struggling to pay your mortgage, or you're even behind on your mortgage right now. Number one, don't avoid them. I know, sometimes they'll call your phone and things like that, and you don't know what to say. You're scared. You don't have the money. You don't know what they're going to say, right? Or maybe you've even been sent the foreclosure packet. It's a lot to read. You haven't read it, or you're reading and you don't understand what you're reading. So I'm going to tell you this. The most useful thing that you can do if you're already behind is to call them, let them know your situation. They may send you out, because there are things that mortgage companies can do to help you either get on your feet. It may affect your credit, I'm not gonna lie to you. However, if you're already behind, then it may not even matter at this point. But what I will say is this: sometimes you can get a deferment. Maybe they'll give you 6 months. Maybe they'll, even extend it into a year. But 6 months should be enough time for you to get yourself together, get a game plan, whatever that you may need to get done. If you literally lost your job or something like that. I mean, it's happening. People are getting laid off. People are losing their jobs. Hey, it's life. So you could have gotten fired, whatever your situation is. If it's regarding, you struggling with your mortgage, talk to them. They may even say you lost your job, but now you have a new job, but the job isn't paying as much as you were getting paid before. So again, you're struggling. What I would suggest you do is to reach out to your mortgage company, let them know that you're having a hardship, let them know what that hardship is. They will send you out something called a hardship packet. Fill it in, and they can give you options. Like I said, one may be a deferment, but if you have some type of income coming in, they may come up with an agreement for you to pay a little less than what your mortgage is, or you may be able to just modify your mortgage. This can mean them extending your years. This can mean them lowering your interest rate. They have different options, but until you reach out and until you give them your specific situation, I can't say what those options will be for you. Only they can tell you that. So what you need to do is go ahead and reach out to them. Try to get the help. At least see what your options are. Do not just bury your head and cry every night. I know it can be overwhelming, but that's not the answer. Call them, work it out. Also, just a FYI, the banks don't want your house. Okay, they don't want it. They can send you all the threatening letters they want to. They don't. In reality, it's more beneficial for them for you to keep it. They don't want your house. So if you can come up with some type of payment arrangement, agreement with them, something where you keep the house and it's a win-win situation, they'll be ecstatic. Whether they tell you that, they sound like that or not, they'll be ecstatic. So if you can help them help you, do that. It's harder to put you out. It costs them a whole lot of money that they really don't care to kick out. So if you can help them help you, do it. If you're renting, this isn't as, it's a little bit easier for them to put you out, and this depends on where you are. I can't speak, like, again, I can't speak on everybody's situation. I don't know where everybody is. What I do know is that if you have a, let's start with this. If you have a private landlord, I know this isn't everybody's situation. If you have a private landlord, you guys actually have a relationship, talk to them. Again, don't hide. Talk to them, see if you can work something out. Let them know your situations. Sometimes you'll run across the nice ones. I know not everybody is not like that, but you'll run across the nice ones in case you can work something out, or you have something coming up, or you're working on something. Sometimes they'll work with you. I'm not saying this is for everybody. That's if you have a private landlord, maybe, just maybe. Whether you have a personal landlord or not, there are places out here such as the Salvation Army, eviction prevention, things like that, that will give you money to try to save you from being put out. They have funding to prevent eviction. Look for those resources, see if you qualify, see if you can get them. If you genuinely are in a hardship, a lot of times you can try to, do what you need to do. Now, just a little tip, all these rental companies aren't doing what they're supposed to do. So if, say for example, you go in the office, you see the license displayed on the wall and the license is expired, tisk tisk tisk, by law. Now, I'm not saying everywhere because I don't know everywhere, but I know here, by law, they not even supposed to be collecting rent from you. They not even supposed to be taking you to court. Fight back if you go to your rental company and you see that there is a discrepancy with that license. Just a little tip, just to let you know. Okay. Next, if you're living with family, or again, this also can be for somebody who's living in an apartment they just can't afford anymore. Look for housing that goes by your income in your city. So what you want to do is you want to Google apartments and townhomes that go by your income in XYZ. Okay, so, or you can even say in your state, and they'll come up with this big list, and you just go to the counties or the cities within your state that you're interested in living, or you wouldn't mind living in, and go apply to all of them. Because what I do know is here, like I said, I have to reiterate that I don't know where you are, but here, if you were to lose your job, say you have an income when you get the, and it doesn't matter how low your income is, it does not matter. They go by 30% of what you're making. So if you go apply for a house and you're making, I'm just for the sake of numbers, you're gonna have to just go with me here, okay? Just for the sake of numbers, I don't feel like doing math like that. So say you're making $100 a month. I know nobody's making that. Matter of fact, let's just go ahead and be a little more practical. Let's say you're making $1,000 a month of unearned income. Let's say that's not even income. That's not even you're going to work. You just collect $1,000 check a month, right? Then your rent would be $300 because they're taking 30% of whatever you make. So your rent would be $300 a month. Now, let's say you lose that same job, or you lose that same income. Your rent is then $1. Who can't come up with $1? Okay, I don't care if you go outside and collect it, off the floor or off the ground. You can come up with $1. So, like I said again, that's how it works here. If you lose your income, your rent is then $1. So if you're living with family, you ready to go, you don't want to be there, look for housing that goes by your income. So then in the event that you do lose your job, or you go into a hardship, or even you may even thrive and your income goes up. And if your income goes up, you don't feel like the apartment or the townhouse that you're paying for is worth what they're charging you, that 30%, go get something else. But it's still something to help you while you're not making as much as you could be or you want to be, and it'll also help you in times like this. Next, I'm going to talk about different categories struggling around food. That's going to be whether you're talking about just eating out and actually enjoying a meal out once a month or whatever you guys are either accustomed to or want to experience, because I still want to tap into enjoying life. Just because you may be struggling, I'm not trying to exclude anybody that still wants to sometimes at least enjoy a meal out. So first I'm going to talk about food in the house. Budget may be a little tight as far as buying food for the house, considering the fact that all the groceries are going up and, you know, inflation, right? So first I'm going to address the elephant in the room, which is something you may have heard before, but I'm going to say it just because this is what I'm talking about at the moment. So let's talk about just doing meals that last longer. Like, and I'm talking about, you know, maybe your pastas, so your spaghettis, your alfredos, maybe a pan of lasagna, things that'll last longer or that you can get the ingredients for and they last more than one day. Or even maybe a ramen meal or something that you might get at a Japanese restaurant. So using the noodles or rice as a base and just mixing in meat and vegetables and making a pasta out of it, making your own sauce, doing your own thing, just to expand your meals a bit. The next thing is, if you are struggling financially buying food in the first place, then you may need to look into food assistance where you are, see what they have. If you don't qualify, then there are food banks, there are places that give out free meals to people who don't have the money for meals. I can't say they're the best meals, I don't know. First, I personally don't know. However, I do know that it is an option. So if it comes down to the fact that you guys just need to eat, I'm just putting it out there that is an option. WIC, if that's available where you are and you have children under 5, that's another thing that can take off a little bit of the pressure. If you qualify for that and you haven't tried to get it, there is the things like milk, eggs, cheese, vegetables. You can go to your local farmers markets and things like that. I'm not sure of everything that comes on it. I know those are some of the things. I think also bread. But again, I don't know everything. I'm just saying it can also eliminate some of your grocery bill if you're able to get that as well, in addition to anything else you may qualify for. So let's talk about eating out. It was a few years ago that I'm sorry, I can't think of what the place is called at the moment. However, and we actually haven't been there in a while, but there was a place that I took my kids out to eat, and the meal for all 3 of us, they had a full meal, drink, everything, and the meal came to, I lied to you not, $17. So if we can go out and eat and have a whole full meal, all of us, for under $20, that's a steal, right? So if you are interested still, you know, if you still want to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of joy, I'm not mad at you. Look into things such as Groupon that can either reduce your spending, get you a deal. Also, kids eat free certain days. If you have children that meet the age limit or under the age limit, and then maybe all you have to pay for is you can also look for just restaurants that are cheap. It doesn't matter what day of the week, and do a little bit of digging. It's out here. Get creative. You can figure it out. I'm just giving you some ideas as to what you can do to still go out to eat if that's something that you still desire to do. Garnishments. So I had a friend who was getting their checks garnished, and this is the only reason I even looked into it. I've never had a check garnished, so this is another one of those things where I personally haven't experienced it, but they were having a hard time because their checks was being garnished. And me being the person I am, did some research and found that if you go to the court and you ask for a payment plan, sometimes you will be granted a payment plan. So look into that where you are. Just do a simple Google search on how you can get a payment plan from the court instead of having your wages completely garnished the way they do. Times are already tough. You don't need your wages being garnished on top of the inflation that we're already dealing with. I get it. So look into that. See if there is a way for you to get a payment plan through the court that garnishments will stop and you will just be obligated to pay that payment plan. Utilities. Okay. This is another one that you can go to the Salvation Army for. This is another one that you could maybe apply where you are to find out what utility assistance is available to you. There are multiple programs, at least here. I don't know what programs are available to you, but I know that Salvation Army is one. You can look into the different utility assistance programs where you are and see which ones you qualify for that you can get help from. Now I'm going to just address entertainment as a whole. So I know I talked about eating out, but so I'm not going to talk about that because that was specifically about the whole food thing. As far as entertainment, I know you still want to enjoy life, so look for things such as Tuesdays movies are half off, or matinee. If you can get to the movies early or the first show, then it's dramatically reduced. So movies is one thing. If you're looking for vacations that don't cost you as much, look at what's there, what you can drive to versus flying to. If flying is expensive for you, we all know gas is still expensive, but you may be surprised at what is just in your neighborhood or what is closer than you may think. Look into new things that you guys can do or try that's right around you, just to have a little bit of adventure where you are. And just talking about travel in general with kids, there are deals as far as kids traveling for free or kids cruising for free, or kids are free at this resort, or half off the second adult. It's all types of stuff. So, and I do have a travel video if you want to check that out. I'll link it below if you want a little bit more detail about how to save when traveling. Now, to talk about a little bit more of the common practical things that you hear: reducing bills by maybe eliminating subscriptions that you really don't use or isn't necessary to have every month, or minimizing or even eliminating bills that you just don't need, whether it's a subscription or not. It may be just an optional bill or something that, like, personally, I have Savage Fenty coming out of my account every month, and when in reality I'm gonna be completely honest with you, I have never even used it and I really need to cancel it. So stuff like that, if you have unnecessary, just take a look at your monthly bill, go through those lines and see what's coming out your account. Eliminate the ones that are unnecessary or that you are no longer using. Another thing is you can always make more money, whether this is in the form of a side hustle or if this is in the form of asking for a raise. If you're in the corporate world and you're deserving of a raise, you just haven't parted your lips to ask for one, and you're well within your right to. I mean, hey, all I can say is yes or no, right? So of course, making more money is something that will always give us some type of relief or make our lives easier. I do have a past video that I talked about as far as side hustles, and I'll link that below. But just to let you guys know, some of the videos that I have coming up are a budgeting video specifically for single moms, how to start a hot side hustle specifically for single moms, and how to become a full-time entrepreneur as a single mom. So those are just some of the videos that I have coming up, and if you feel like you might be interested in any of those, or even take a look around the channel and see if it's anything that, because I talk about a lot of different subjects around single motherhood, so if you feel like this video was helpful, give me a thumbs up. If you feel like once you take a look around the channel, I would be a channel that you would be interested in hearing more from, then go ahead and subscribe, and that's it, y'all.
Everybody come on. Like it 9 to 5, let me see you work. Like it 9 to 5, let me see you work. Work that, work that. Like it 9 to 5. Work.
Feels so good, I've been working it out. Now let the haters try talk, I've been drowning them out. Go ahead, get the work, then wide out. Hit me with the low fee, I need a higher amount. Get it one more time, 365. This throwback hit for the 9-9. Knees to your thighs, reach for the sky. Ain't no PTO time, I'm just trying to get the work. 1, 2, show 'em how we do. 3, 4, turn it up more.